Hi, George Gannon here, and I really want to inspire you. How? So basically, it is getting you to believe in yourself. And another little story about how I did a few developments, but certainly starting off with one single flat and then jumping onto a pub, doing that into 4 flats. And then after I did the pub into 4 flats, and didn't really have much money there, I had a few thousand. I thought, right, I'm going to do a big development now, because I've cut my teeth, obviously, 4 flats, and I'm going to do 6 barn conversions. So I rushed out, spent the last bit of money doing valuations, so I've got a RICS valuation so I can get investors on board or the banks on board. And then, after I spent my last few thousand on this valuation, guess what happened? The lady selling it died and it went into probate. So all that money was lost, and that was going down to someone that lived down in London. This was in Northumberland where the project was. So yeah, that sort of threw a bit of a spanner in the works. Didn't let that stop me. I then found a 30-bed care home, and I thought, right, this is the one, I'm going to buy this. So didn't really even have the money for the valuation. So again, huge problem. Where do I find £250,000 to buy this property? I actually secured it for 275, so just over £250,000. That was 24 at the time. So 24-year-old, coming along, a big boarded up care home, and I think, right, don't even have any money in my account, but I'm gonna do this. So the challenge number 1 is, how do I raise £250,000? Putting aside the fact that I needed £750,000 to develop the project out, so £1 million in total, 24 looking at a building thinking, got to raise £1 million. I just broke it down into manageable milestones. And the first point for me was, I just know the second I bought this, I could flip it on for more money. So it wasn't thinking of the full picture, the full $1 million to start with. It was just £250,000. And I went to Alan Hall, because he'd lent me some money before for the pub. And I said, Alan, I've got this great project. Will you lend me some money, please? And he goes, actually, George, even I think this one's a bit big for you. It'll do you good to learn how to find finance elsewhere, though. And I was like, great, thanks, Alan. So, yeah, still, that obviously knocked me back, got my wind, and I went knocking on doors. And it was actually an investor that I got who was a family member who managed to lend me the money for this one. So luckily, I'd done a little bit to prove myself, and some investors out there will say, well, if it's that good a deal, why haven't you asked your family? Well, it was, and I did. So luckily, I got the money to secure it. Once I secured it, I did the plans myself and managed to get planning permission to convert it into 20 apartments. I then set to work on it. Where was I going to raise the £750,000? Good point, but did a little bit of work, getting the plan in, remortgaged it, pulled a chunk out, did some work to it, remortgaged that, pulled some money out, and then they said, we can't do any remortgages, George. And I was about halfway in, so good £500,000 that we were there, so I ended up putting it on a bridging loan. So I was about 24, 25, and I had £500,000 on a bridging loan. No pressure, but I could see, I had it in my head, I knew what I was going to do, and I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I kept on working, and then finally I managed to get Close Brothers on board, a specialist merchant bank that lends money for developments like this. And they lent me seeing I wasn't too far away from finishing, they lent me the money to finish the rest of the project off. So I successfully developed that project out, remortgaged that, and also pulled out about 291k. So I was left with 20 apartments and around 291 grand in the bank. And yeah, not a bad place. I was about 25. And basically I've got the completion statement with this money all shown after Close Brothers has paid back. So all that I show on any of the courses that you come on with myself. And yeah, so again, hopefully that's inspired you. Definitely not for the faint-hearted, definitely not for everyone, and I certainly didn't start off with doing something big. But some of my friends that I'm helping, mentoring and working with now, they're certainly, yeah, wanting to start off at that size, and they're successfully doing it. So again, it's mindset and it's belief, and I can guarantee you, you are definitely in a better position now than I was back then. So again, people said to me with this one, no, you can't do it. Haven't you got enough? I can't even do that. It's too big. So yeah, don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do something. If you've got the belief, the passion and the determination to do something, you can do it. So I hope that's helped inspire you.